India standing tall and making headlines. Despite US President Donald Trump's tariff war or threats, Indian refiners are still buying Russian crude, and it's shaking up the global stage. Why is India holding its ground, and why is Trump so rattled by BRICS nation? Let's unpack this power move. India's economy is booming and oil keeps it running. According to sources speaking to ANI, Indian refiners are sticking with Russian oil because it's a smart deal, driven by low prices, high quality crude, steady inventories, and smooth shipping. Russia supplies over a third of India's crude, saving billions and keeping fuel affordable for millions of Indians. But Trump is not happy. He slapped a 25% tariff on India's goods starting from August 1, with extra penalties for buying Russian oil. So why is not India backing down? First, it's about savings. Russian oil is cheaper, especially since Western sanctions on Russia after 2022 Ukraine invasion created a bargain. India snapped it up, cutting fuel costs and protecting our economy from global price spikes. This keeps petrol and diesel prices stable for our farmers, drivers, and factories. It's a win for every Indian. Second, it's practical. Russian crude matches world-class refineries perfectly. Plus, Russia is close enough for quick, cost-effective shipping. India's refiners are also stockpiling smartly, ensuring we are never short on fuel. This is India playing the long game, securing energy for our growing nation. Now, why is Trump so spooked by BRICS? India, Russia, China, Brazil, and other countries in the BRICS group are economic powerhouse challenging the US dollar's dominance. Trump's worried because BRICS nations are trading more in their own currencies, not in dollar, and buying Russian oil, which keeps Russia's economy strong despite Western sanctions. India's role as a top buyer importing 2 million barrels a day makes us a key player in this shift. Trump's tariffs are a desperate attempt to slow down BRICS' growing influence. Despite Trump's threat, India is standing firm. Our Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri says we are not worried. We import from 40 countries. India also boosting ties with the UK, Brazil, and others to diversify oil sources, showing we are ready for anything. This is India's strength, making bold choices to protect our people and our future. In short, India is buying Russian oil because it's smart, affordable, and keeps our nation powered. This is Samaksh Namdev signing off with a reminder to stay always safe. Thank you for watching.
Diversified our options, we've built resilience, and we have been able to navigate those challenges. And if I don't sound too presumptuous, or you might even say overconfident, I think each of these challenges posed by the turbulence has actually provided us opportunities. And I think that is what has stood us by. And full marks to my boss, who has not only provided the overall direction, but he has stood by us, and he has always guided us all along. I know where you're wanting to go. Why did you buy from here and not from there, etc. But whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
No. I'm going to add to your turbulence, and I'm going to talk about Donald Trump.
Well, should we come to that sequentially, or should we come to it first? Okay, let's start with the...
Let's look at... So we are buying 30% of our crude from Russia, and now the Americans have threatened secondary sanctions. What impact do you see on India's oil supply, and what is our backup plan, sir?
Well, first and foremost, madam, I don't feel any pressure in my mind. And I don't think my boss's mind is wired to feel any pressure. And that's where I draw my strength from. But I'd like to have a discussion with you on the hard facts. First and foremost, what are the facts? In February 2022, when the military conflict between Russia and the Ukraine commenced, we were buying, if I remember, 0.2% of our overall crude from the Russian Federation. Today, yes, you are absolutely right, it has gone up considerably. But equally, during this period, India has diversified the sources of supply, and we have gone, I think, from about 27 countries that we used to buy from to about 40 countries now. But more than that, if you go into should you buy from a source 1 or should you buy from a source 2, we have been clear from the day go that we will buy from wherever we have to. Because the Prime Minister's commitment is, in the final analysis, to his consumer, to the Indian consumer. And I think that policy has stood us in good stead. We are probably one of the few, I would have, if I didn't have this enlightened an audience, I might have said we are the only, but no, we may not be the only. But for a country of our size, for a country of our consumption level, why do I say this? In the last 10, 11 years, 16% of the growth in the energy markets, crude oil, has come from India. And if you believe in the analysis of the International Energy Agency, by the way, I saw a statement that someone might be pulling out of there also, but let's leave it at that. They say, a very credible analysis, that in the next 2 decades, 25% of the global growth is going to come from India. Increase in oil demand. Okay, so today Russia is one of the main suppliers. I don't know what the figures were in 2022. Today, I think they produce about 9 million barrels a day. 9 million barrels a day, madam, is roughly 10% of the global production per day and consumption per day. I ask you a hypothetical question. Supposing you take 10% of the consumption off the table. There are 2 possibilities. One, the rest of the world, the whole world, stops consuming or consumes 10% less, which means what? Which means in a country, let's say, I can pick up any country, some people won't get heating in winter, some people won't get air conditioning in summer, some of the transport will stop flying. So 10% consumption reduction is not an easy thing, or something else will happen. You decide that 10% is going off the market, you don't want to reduce consumption, then you start buying more from the remaining 90%. You know what that would do to prices? The prices which were here would skyrocket. We did an analysis, my secretary who's sitting here and some of my other colleagues, that if more and more people were to buy from the other OPEC sources, you know what would have happened? Prices would have gone up minimum to $130, $140 a barrel. So if we were buying from any source that we could, I think we should be applauded.